Hi, I'm Manda McKay. I'm a professional artist, and I've been making these videos to give you tips to help enhance your creativity, regardless of your level of expertise or what kind of a medium you're working in. For this video, I want to talk about the importance of letting yourself be bored every so often. And this is actually something that I've mentioned to people and I've gotten a little bit of resistance from because nobody likes to be bored. But I want to tell you that this is actually extremely helpful for your creativity if you just let yourself be bored every so often, maybe 30 minutes out of every month to start with. Because when you let your brain just kind of turn off, you kind of give it a rest, and maybe it will start to wander, and maybe it won't, but you at least give it a break from the constant information that we're feeding it and the constant decisions that we make during a day. And this will give you a chance to kind of reset every so often and quiet things down, and then you're that much more likely, after taking a little bit of a rest, to be able to come up with ideas again. This is not the same thing as meditation. It's similar, but not quite the same. With meditation, usually you want your mind to be completely quiet, maybe even blank. And in this case, you don't have to necessarily keep it blank. Try to keep it from wandering to stuff like your to-do list if you possibly can. But you just want to kind of sit there and just let your mind be quiet and not thinking about anything too extreme or just too mundane. And maybe just think about, just have whatever your surroundings are, which need to be something relatively quiet, and maybe just be aware of your body just sitting in that space. If possible, try to go outside so that you can be in nature. I know that that's not really possible for a lot of people, or at least not certain times of years. So if you can't do that, maybe be in just a quiet, darkened room, and you need to unplug completely. So no electronics of any kind. Like I said, the goal is to let yourself at least get a little bit bored for a while. So don't read a book. You definitely don't want to be scrolling through your news feed or anything like that. You want to actually let yourself experience some boredom. I believe that this would have been a part of the human experience for a long, long time, through history, maybe even for tens of thousands of years, where whatever work was done and we didn't have, TV or, any kind of electronics, and there were times where you just sat there idle doing nothing. And I think that we really do not give ourselves a chance to do that in today's world, and there are so many interesting things that you can do, whether it's scrolling on TikTok or reading a book. We just don't ever let ourselves get bored. And again, being bored is uncomfortable, and people really do not like it. So that's why I'm saying, if you can do this for maybe 15 minutes to 30 minutes per month, you'll be giving your mind a break and kind of resetting it, so that hopefully when you get back to being creative, you'll be able to come up with ideas more easily because you just kind of gave your mind a rest. Sometimes it can be tiring if you're a person like me, where I'm a professional creative person and I have to come up with, on a daily basis pretty much, I have to come up with a lot of different ideas. And of course, if you're coming up with a lot of ideas, most of them are probably going to be bad. But I really am under pressure to come up with, at least a few good ideas every time I try to brainstorm or think. So that's why it's important to, every so often, I just give my mind a break and let myself feel boredom. And then it's just that much better and that much more fun and entertaining when I'm going back to coming up with ideas. It contrasts to the boredom, and I'm that much more able to absorb new ideas, put maybe two old ideas together, come up with something completely new. It just helps in a way that's really kind of hard to describe. So see if you can do this even for just a short period of time. Again, you need to unplug completely and not give yourself any distractions. And I know that that's really, really difficult. If you can get outside, that's great. If not, if you have a vehicle, can you go sit in your vehicle and just be alone and do not turn on the radio or, listen to any music, turn your phone off, and just sit there and experience boredom. And I think you'll be very surprised at where this can take you. Maybe it will take a few days to really feel the effects, but this really will help you it will help lead you to being more creative on demand. And I think you'll be surprised at how this will just reset everything. So just, again, if you can do 15 to 30 minutes every month, then that's enough. Just let yourself experience that boredom. So this isn't something that a lot of people do because, as I said, it's very uncomfortable. But if you've ever deliberately tried to do this, or maybe it wasn't intentional, but you were just waiting somewhere, like a doctor's office, and you're just sitting there wishing the time would pass, have you ever done this and then felt like it made a difference in your creativity, like later on, maybe the next day or maybe the same day? Let me know in the comments if you've ever had this work for you. But if you haven't, like I said, just give it a try. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what a difference it can make. Again, my name is Amanda McKay, and thank you so much for watching.